It's a huge match day today at the IPL. Now, I don't know if these are the two best teams at the IPL. That's what the results will tell you eventually. But in terms of the following, in terms of the fan support, I know my fans might disagree. But RCB versus CSK is the big South derby. And everybody will be in today. We've already heard at the toss that there's almost as much yellow as red, which I found a little difficult to believe, I must admit. Because when RCB play in Bangalore, it's all red. But this year, CSK is something different, isn't it? I'm sure their fans are travelling everywhere. Two iconic captains. There's MS Dhoni, there's Virat Kohli. So much to play for. Zaheer Khan is alongside us. He knows about the atmosphere there. Doull, he's been around for a long time. How big is this game, Zach?
Very, very big. I think from RCB's point of view, it's even bigger because for them to stay in the tournament, I think this game is very crucial. Looking at the team combinations, both the teams, the kind of approach they've taken, I think there's going to be a lot of spin on offer because Chris Wokes is also not there, and the changes which CSK has made is more on the spin side. So Imran Tahir comes in and Harbhajan comes in. So there's going to be a similar kind of track, I think. There is talk of wicket being damp, as MS also has mentioned, but I think on the whole, the dampness is going to assist spin. We've seen it in the last game as well against Delhi when RCB played there on that ground. There was a certain bit of spin factor with, playing a huge role. So I think expect the similar kind of thing in today's game as well.
If it's a little damp, we are not going to see 190, 200, 180, 190 obviously. And it could well be that bowlers become man of the match again. And I've got two bowlers here.
and rightly so. The trend continued last night, which was very nice. Yeah, I think so. It's about assessing those situations very early on, and it's something that both the teams last night didn't do very well. It was a 140 surface in Mumbai last night, so it'll be up to Virat Kohli, whoever he's batting with. It'll be Quinton de Kock, I'm sure, to just assess those situations early on, and that's what you expect from senior players, Zach, isn't it? You want those key guys to go out there, and if they happen to lose a wicket, 4th, 5th, 6th over, come back in and say, guys, this is 155, 160. If we get there, we can win this game. We bring Chahal into the game. We can, all of these, little permutations come into it. So assess early and figure it out. But the new ball again will be very much the key. It's the only thing that might skid on. First 6 overs, massive.
Very different batting skills on display when you're playing a 140, 150 game. But let's see how they've read it. For a start, as you're probably aware, Chennai and MS Dhoni won the toss and they decided to put RCB in. They will chase. So let's take a look at the sides and see what we have in terms of spin. Now for RCB, they've got Washington Sundar, they've got Chahal, and they've brought in Pawan Negi. Yeah. So that's 3 spin options there. Colin de Grandhomme comes in, not for Corey Anderson, but comes in for Chris Wokes. So let's take a look how the bowling looks then. Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, 2 proper quicks, 3 spinners, and then they've got de Grandhomme and Anderson. So they've got lots of bowling options, but is their batting deep enough? What do you think?
Yeah, I worry about their batting a little bit still, but when they haven't used Chris Wokes in the right way, so he's gone tonight. Colin de Grandhomme will give them some power. If you gave Colin de Grandhomme 10 games, he will get 30 off 8 or 9 balls twice for you in those 10 games, and that's all you want from your overseas players to make that sort of an impact, and your Indian players can bat around him. So I like the change. I thought he would come in for Anderson. Corey Anderson's not supposed to be bowling. Oops, he is not.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
According to his New Zealand contract, and from what I understand, he is not supposed to be bowling. So for me to see him bowl in that Mumbai game was a shock, and then to finish things off as well and to bowl the last over. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. So I don't know.
His chance of playing in that side is purely on bowling, I think, because I think for batting they would have gone for Beckham. So obviously he's in the side to fill in that void of providing that extra bowling option, which has been RCB's problem also, because they've been going in with 5 bowlers, and that at times makes it difficult in this format, because if someone is having off day, you have no option to go to as a captain. So I think from that point of view, Virat is just giving him more chances, I think, of making sure that if anyone is having an off day, or just bring in some new faces who can just fill in and come in for an over or 2.
They started with 5 bowlers. They've now got 7 bowling options to RCB. CSK started with virtually everybody who can bowl, given that Dhoni has done that in international cricket as well. But today the spinners come back in, and Dhoni loves playing with spin. 140, 150 surface, spin on. Dhoni loves to play with that. He's got Imran Tahir, he's got Harbhajan. If there is a little bit of moisture, then Jadeja will become a bowler too, won't he?
I think so, and I think after the toss, it's just kind of tilted more in Super Kings' favor for sure. I think Chennai going in this game at the moment, I think has got better chance of winning the game, because last game MS used Ravindra Jadeja full quota of overs.
Yes.
I think that's something which is very positive for CSK, because so far in the tournament he had not bowled 4 overs, and especially against RCB in the middle overs there is a very good chance of 2 right-handers batting together. So I think that's when MS will be waiting for that window of opportunity where he can squeeze in few overs of Ravindra Jadeja and create that impact.
Be interesting to see. It rained a little bit today. It rained yesterday. It rained at about 4 o'clock today, but there hasn't been much rain thereafter. They think there might be a little bit. I don't know if that will affect. It'll affect the preparation. It'll affect the play at all.
Yeah, it comes into play with the toss as well, doesn't it? You want to be batting second. And in 2020 cricket, the Duckworth, Lewis, Stern, Watson. What are how many names have they got now?
Doesn't
4
matter.
or 5.
DSLW, WBXYC, but it still gives you strange results.
It's not in favour of the side batting first in 2020 cricket. It really does favour the side batting second. I think there's an Indian system that's probably just as good, if not better, I think, for 2020 cricket. So maybe we might see that being used in the future. So that would have come into play a little bit with MS. Yes, they like to chase, but there has been a little bit of rain around, so we'll make sure we'll get a double bite at it.
When you look at RCB every year and you think, wow, this is the who's who of batting. You look at what's happened this year. Virat's got some runs, AB's got some runs, and between them they scored more than half the runs. Is that a big issue?
But it has not come together. That's been the issue. I think they've been firing, they've been scoring runs, but they've not builded that partnership which we've used to seeing Virat and AB batting together. So I think for that team to do well, the bottom line always remains the same. If Virat and AB delivers, the team is going to stack up wins and going to get points on board.
He'll open today. Virat Kohli.
Quinton de Kock. Well, they need something out of Quinton de Kock too. They need something significant, not a 30, but they need a 70, 80, 90, and that then becomes a real significant contribution. I thought the other option for them today could have been to bring Parthiv in. Now, Parthiv doesn't have to open the batting. If you bring him in, he doesn't have to open the batting. He can move Mandeep or Mananvora to the top of the order and play Parthiv down the bottom. If you want, bat him at 7, bat him at 8, I don't really care. And then maybe strengthen that lineup and have Wokes and de Grandhomme in there as well. And maybe go that way. I thought they might have done that and just given themselves bowling options and batting options deep.
The problem I think so far, the problem so far with RCB, I think they went in the season just deciding that AB and Virat is going to bat number 3 and 4, and that's where they've been caught up. So whatever changes you've seen so far in the squad have been around that, keeping Virat at number 3, AB at number 4. The middle order is fine. Someone can take the responsibility of finishing the game as well, because one of them has a good day, which we saw in the last game as well. AB just taking the game through. That has been their plan, but I think that plan has not been firing because they've not been getting the start. Mandeep, I think, has been exceptionally doing well. I mean, he's someone who's been opening the innings in the past. Now you asked him to play that finisher's role in the middle order. He's delivering at that role. Now you don't want to just kind of change his mode midway in the season as well.
Soon after the auction, the uncharitable say you can open with Parthiv Patel, but ensure he doesn't bat more than 15-20 balls.
Yeah.
Because his strike rate after 15 is excellent, his strike rate after 30 comes down again. But what do RCB think themselves now? Naturally, you ask an AB and says, is the batting too reliant on the two of you? You might say no, but let's hear it in his own words.
We've got a great team. I think you can say that of every single team in the IPL. They've got 2 stand-up players, 2 or 3. The rest will just chip in.
What has he said?
But then every now and then someone surprises you. So that's a very boring story that I've heard for so long now. I truly believe guys win matches all over, and obviously you got to prove that first. And I feel that we've been doing so in this season so far. Maybe not winning all the games, but guys like Mandeep have stood up. Quinton de Kock's looked good. The bowling department, every single time there's someone else, it's a Washington, then usually looks good. Then Umesh takes 3 up front. So it's an all-round team. It's just a matter of putting the performances together as a side. When you're winning, people will say, oh, the whole team looks so fantastic. When you're losing, you'll say it's a 2-man team. So let's see what happens.
He can say what he wants. He can say, I mean, you've got a big box office movie coming in, and he can say, I'm part of the ensemble cast, I'm part of everything. Eventually, it's about you, isn't it? And what an innings he played the other day, Dooley.
Yeah, he was brilliant the other day, and you expect that. I mean, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, 2 of the best players in the world. There's pressure on. Do the job. I mean, Kings 11, look at the teams that are at the top. They're getting their value out of KL Rahul and Chris Gale. Yeah. They're leading from the front. Other guys are chipping in. Yeah, that's fine. But the key men who are paid the big dollars are doing the job.
I mean,
That's,
Zach,
that's what it's all about. Mumbai haven't had it. The big men haven't done the job for them. That's why they're lagging at the bottom of the table. Delhi, very much the same. You know, some guys enjoy the pressure of it, some guys don't, and that's what they have to find, a combination that enjoys the pressure.
I mean, it's like when we were in college going to see movies. It had Bachchan and Vinod Khanna in the movie. It didn't really appear, it didn't really matter who else was in the movie. There were 5-6 others, but it didn't matter to us because we went to see those two. Those two carried the movie on their shoulders. AB and Virat will carry the I was going to say carry the movie, carry the batting on their shoulders. What about the other side? CSK started off and everyone said, oh, they're very old. And they're 35, they're 36, they're 34. And inevitably, you know, like you put the batting averages with people putting the age alongside. But they're doing all right. And that's...
Well, we discussed that. Their experience side, I think. You know, and in this format, experience does matter. I think, you know, when you talk about the longevity of CSK in terms of stacking up 2 seasons, 3 seasons is debatable. But I think for this season, they're going to be fine. And those pressure situations, they've been winning those pressure situations as well. You know, which with the first game you saw, first couple of games were close games, and when it matters, the experienced player can deal with the pressure situations in a better manner. And when you look at this format, I think, you know, this format, those moments, certain moments, if you have ability to deal with pressure, if you have situational awareness, it works in your favor.
That is, by the way, Zach's favorite expression. It's situational awareness. It's his favorite expression.
This format.
It's very relevant. It's very relevant. And I mean, I was a little bit critical as well of Chennai at different times about the age as well. But when I look back over it, the spin bowlers, so the aging people I'm talking about, the spin bowlers or the batters. Only Dwayne Bravo has a few years on him. He's 35, I think, Bravo, as a seam bowler. But the others, you look at Imran Tahir, he's 39, but he bowls spin. You can play spin, bowl spin till you're 45 if you want.
Brad
you know?
Hogg,
yeah, exactly. Harbhajan, 37, bowls spin. Yeah. No problem with that at all. Suresh Raina, batsman. MS, batsman. I mean, and he probably still one of the fittest going around.
Essentially, you're making a point for fast bowlers.
Exactly. So the youngsters are the quick bowlers. The Indian quick bowlers. They've gone with the young, raw talent, or a little bit younger anyway, in that raw talent. But the experienced guys are international players or batsmen or spinners. So they're not really worrying about those guys being fit. Shane Watson's sort of...
He'll come and give you 2 or 2 overs.
Yeah. And
but what Stephen Fleming said was actually quite interesting. He said, are we here to nurture talent and build teams, or are we here to win championships? If you're playing a 6-month league, then you're talking about nurturing talent. You're playing a 14-game league in 7 weeks. So let's hear what he says. Actually, it's interesting. He's quite an erudite fellow, so let's hear from him.
They're 35, 36. They're not 55, 56. I know a massive amount's been made of it. But I'll go back to the fact that experience and professional players dominate a big part of the IPL. Chris Gale has come back playing really well. Obviously, Shane Watson's 100 in his performances so far. Dwayne Bravo. MS Dhoni. These guys still have a lot of cricket to play, and yep, it's exciting watching young players come out and do their thing. But over a long season, I look for consistency and professionalism, and found that older players who are still motivated and still fit and still committed, they can provide the consistency that gets you up round mid to top table, which allows you to progress in the competition.
Right, so he says the young guys add fizz to the tournament. But if your older players are playing consistently and they have experience, I'm happy to have them around.
Yeah, and I think when you look at this, and I agree with what Zach said before about CSK, they picked a team to win this year. They said, we're back. We're coming back. How do we go to that auction? How do we find a team that wins this year, that takes us through hard times? Because every team's going to have some hard times. Who do we need? We need experience. We need older guys who can just help the young guys out. And that's exactly what they've done. They haven't picked a team to win next year, or to win the year after. And as Stephen Fleming said, they haven't nurtured talent, or they're not there to nurture talent. They picked a team at the auction that could win them the title this year.
Both teams are struggling to bowl at the end, though. 2 fast bowlers in, it's not great bowling at the end. Both teams are struggling. The difference is that CSK are scoring runs, but they're also conceding runs. RCB are scoring fewer in the death overs than they're conceding in the death overs, and maybe that's where RCB's it's in their DNA. That's what happens every year.
The way both the teams are stacked up, you know, they back their batting. You know, their history also, if you look at it, and the numbers you look at it, their strength is batting. They want to close games on batting, and they don't mind going and about 9 or 10 is a standard economy rate of this format. I think, you know, if as a bowler you're giving about 9.5 runs, you're doing a good job for your team in that situation.
Yeah, because that's what 54, 60 of 6. Yeah. You're doing all right. Yeah.
So looking at that, I think, you know, RCB has got a bit of work to do. You know, they're committing few errors, which I'm sure, like, you know, the bowling mentor is there to help. I think Ashish Nehra is very well aware of things and how to handle those kind of situations. So I think, you know, they just need a little bit of talks around that, just sticking to basics, having, you know, one thing which always works is having that clarity of mind. I think, you know, as a bowler, what you can do is execution. To get the execution right, you just have the clarity of thought. Sometimes your execution is going to go offline. Most of the times is going to come good if you have only one thought when you're at the top of your run-up.
So, the other big news going around. Once again, a captain's gone. You almost called it the other day.
Yeah. I was sitting with Joy the other night in here, and we said afterwards, and we talked about Gautam, and he knows Gautam very well through his time at KKR, and we both said the same thing, that we felt that he would do the right thing for the team, and that's the sort of player that Gautam Gambhir has been. He's not a me player. He's not the most smiley, charismatic character in the world.
Apparently he smiled in February, and someone said, "Dude, that's it for the year."
Yeah. I said the other night on the show that my goal at the end of every toss when I have Gautam is to get him to just smile, and it's worked a couple of times this year. It's quite nice. But he is a team man first, and he's done the right thing for or he thinks is the right thing for Delhi.
Do you think the problem was Gambhir not getting runs?
Correct.
Or Gambhir not leading the team well?
Runs.
Yeah, I think so
runs.
too.
Yeah.
This is Gambhir the batsman, right? Gambhir the batsman saying, maybe I'm not pulling my weight in the side, so I'm quitting as captain. What do you think?
Well, I have a different viewpoint on this.
I think it was knowing somewhere?
Maybe I don't know exactly what happened, but I think, you know, knowing when these kind of situations happen, you know, and you go for a shift in captain or a change in captain, it's your last desperate effort of reviving the season. You know, and not always it's going to work in your favor. I mean, many a times you'll see in terms of percentage, it's always going to go against you, because on paper, when you look at the Delhi team, they have the team to win matches. It's just that, you know, they're not stacking it up together. They're not winning those crucial moments of the game if their batting is firing, bowling is not. So it's just a thing as a player, as a captain, you got to take it as a challenge to change things around. And this is actually the time where team needs to come together and stay strong as a unit. What it's going to do, I mean, for whatever reasons it may be, if it works, it's all going to look good. But the chances of it coming good is very slim, because the captain who is taken over from Gautam Gambhir is not someone, you know, who is used to dealing with pressure.
He's also a young fellow. He's finding his feet around.
He's having a good season, but you know, he's not proved himself there. You're adding more pressure, more responsibility on him to change things around. I think, you know, it's to me, if it works, it's going to be a great call, but chances of it working is very slim.
I mean, it's happened before, you know. My first reaction was, wow, middle of the tournament. It's happened a couple of times. It's actually happened quite frequently, and not always with great results. I mean, yeah, VVS Lakshman he sacrificed a lot, and that was a terrible episode. VVS Lakshman and Deccan Chargers. I think they used his goodness there. But Harbhajan Singh to Sean Pollock to Tendulkar, I was witnessing that happen. It was forced on them.
That sounds like a rugby backline.
No, it was
from Singh to Pollock to Tendulkar.
But you know, the funny thing there was when Harbhajan Singh had to go, they said, Sanat Jayasuriya, you. And he said, but I don't know the Indian players. Yeah. And he said, Pollock, you. Pollock said, I don't know the Indian players, Jayasuriya, you. They said, between us, and then Pollock turned out with a nicer guy. Yeah. So basically he was left holding it. But it's happened with Peterson, it's happened with Ponting. Sometimes it's happened because you were not doing well. Sometimes it's happened because the captain wasn't scoring runs. But this is a big one. And I just wonder, are we going to see much more of Gautam Gambhir? Because if it's a batting-driven decision, then he's not in the side, right?
That must be the case. I think now what kind of combination they go ahead with is going to be up to the team management, because we've seen last match how many 5 changes, and that is something which has not helped any team. You look at the teams doing well in the past. One thing which had stayed common is most of the players who who played in the tournament have the playing squad has not really changed. The playing 11, there've been like, you know, 1 or 2 changes, 3 changes max, but you don't see a lot of changes, and Delhi has already made so many changes. So by bringing in new captain, new kind of thought process, you're going to bring on more changes, and how many of those changes are going to be actually helpful for the team is going to be something which we have to wait and watch.
They made one good call, didn't they, with Liam Plunkett? They made a very good call there. He was brilliant in that game. But it's also, you come into teams and they do not know how to win, and they find a way to lose. You know, Mumbai last night found a way to lose. Delhi found a way to lose a game that they really should have won. And if you've ever been in that situation, you can't get across the line. There's something in your DNA in that team. I played in a team that lost 15 50-over games in domestic cricket in a row.
15?
15 in a row. We couldn't win. We could not win a game. 15 games in a row.
Is it that the moment the tide turns against you, you think, that's one more that's going away from us?
Exactly. And then you start, those negative thoughts start to creep into your mind. Funny thing is, the first game we won by fluke, absolute fluke, we went on a roll and then won the title that year. The first time we'd won in 15 years, in 15 games. So Delhi or Mumbai can still do it. There's some hope for you, people.
When Ponting said no, they gave the captaincy to Rohit Sharma. Now, Rohit Sharma, by then, to be fair, in 2012, 2013, was already in India player for 2 or 3 years. They'd won 3, lost 3. And then under Rohit as captain, they won 10. They went on to do so. It turned out to be a magnificent opportunity for Rohit Sharma. Mumbai Indians won 13, 15, 17. They're struggling this year, but they won 13, 15, 17.
Right.
But Shreyas Iyer is not an established international player. So I wonder if they just looked around and said, okay, to you.
Well, they must have looked around and said, we need a local player. We need an Indian player, because outside of it, I know his numbers are not great, but Glenn Maxwell's still probably the first name on that overseas sheet if Chris Morris is not fit. So he did the job at Kings 11. He's not having a great season. He did the job at Kings 11. That was the only other option, I think, in that side. So they've basically gone with a player who is guaranteed to play every game, and that's Shreyas Iyer. But does it put undue pressure on him?
Because you look at Glenn Maxwell. When the IPL was in Dubai, he was unstoppable. When the IPL came back to India, he's not at a great time.
He's had one score of significance in India, hasn't he? I think we did a game in Kanpur or Cuttack or Indore. It was one of those sort of venues that was a secondary venue for one of the teams, and he scored a 90 or something in one of those games. And apart from that, really not a lot.
I think it was CSK 2014.
It was between Shreyas Iyer or Rishabh Pant. I think, you know, those are 2 guys who you would think that
unless they went to the fact that Rishabh Pant has been captain of Delhi all year, and it really affected him. He didn't score that many runs. There was all kinds of things happening in Delhi. So maybe they thought, okay, let's leave him alone to play.
Yeah, well, I think I could have been anyone. so that's something. And Shreyas and Rishabh are the 2 players who Delhi has retained. So, you know, maybe somewhere they're thinking long term as well, that, you know, these are the guys who we're going to invest in anyway. So make one of them a captain and put more responsibility. It doesn't matter how the season goes.
Okay. So there you are. That was the big Gambhir decision in the middle of the IPL, and let's see what changes it brings about to the Delhi Daredevils. Today, of course, is CSK versus RCB, and wow, what a big game it is. And since Zach has been in RCB before, we've got a question for Zaheer Khan that's come along on Twitter. Is there any way to get Zaheer back in the Red Army? They need a bowler like him. They don't want you as a bowling coach because Mr. Nehra, your good friend, is not going to vacate his job. He's going to,
that discussion will be interesting when we're actually deciding the strategies and planning. But see, in the first show which we did with Cricbuzz, I said that, you know, that threat has to be looming, you know, when Zaheer Khan is going to come back.
And is Zaheer Khan going to come?
I don't rule out any of the possibilities.
How old are you now, Zach?
39.
Imran Tahir, Zaheer Khan.
Are you suggesting he's a spinner?
No!
I just thought the sledge coming from next door.
No. 39.
No, he's liking the thought process which CSK has started. Experience matters.
We were in the West Indies together, and Zach let it slip that he's starting to train because he's going to play one more year. Now, when you get to 38, 39, does the training get tougher? Or?
I wouldn't know. I didn't train at 38, 39.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was looking at you because I didn't want to look at him, but it was aimed at him. It was actually aimed at him.
How tough is it to come back? How tough would it be for you?
Now it depends if I want to play. It's
exactly.
very easy. It's very easy.
Yeah.
You just go to the gym, do 2 sessions, your recovery is good.
It's a mental thing, isn't it? It's a mental thing. When you get older, You have to want it. And if you want it enough, you'll train hard enough to take it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you are, it's CSK versus RCB. But for the moment, Zaheer Khan is in the Cricbuzz live studio and he's going to be here till the end of the IPL. Now, yesterday, I had a little quiet word with Joy and I said, you know what, Joy, just as we've got these experts in here, you've got a reputation as well. People are picking up the answers before the program ends. You've got to do a little better than that, Joy. And so Joy's come up with something quite tricky today. So all you guys who wait for the Joy factor, here it is coming up for you. And let's see how long it takes you to get it today. Tharuvar Kohli. How many of you remember Tharuvar Kohli? If Tharuvar Kohli and Shane Watson's names come first, and Chris Lynn is second last. There are so many clues there. Which Indian, there's another clue, is currently the last name in a very specific list. Remember to send us those replies with the hashtag CricBuzzLive. So if you're going searching Tharuvar Kohli, Shane Watson, whatever, we're not giving you any more clues. All the clues were there. All I'm doing is CSK 4-1, RCB 2-3. Who's favourite today?
CSK.
CSK's favourite.
Yeah.
After the toss, CSK favourite. Correct.
Okay, so let's see how RCB go about it. They're batting first today. They're not chasing either.
Yep.
So we'll wait and see what happens. We think CSK are favourites. We think there's that little dampness, the fact that Dhoni loves playing with spin. But we'll see what happens. We'll come in during the break and we'll have a better idea then. So for the moment, we're leaving you back in the mid-overs, in the mid-innings break.